Hello everyone, welcome to Conjunctions in Astrology. On this video I'm looking at Jupiter in conjunction to Saturn, a rare conjunction. So if you have this in your birth chart, I will show you how important this is for your destiny. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. And if the video is good for you, give it a thumbs up. Let's begin. First of all, what is a conjunction in astrology? You may think you have a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in your chart, but you may not have. A conjunction in the ancient Vedic system is about planets being in the same sign together, because a sign equals a house. So, if two or more planets are in the same sign, no matter how far apart they are by degree, they are in conjunction. But if one planet is 29 degrees of one sign, let's say, and the other planet at 0 of the next sign, that's not a conjunction, even though they are only 1 degree apart in space, because they are in different signs, therefore different houses, with a completely different lord. Another point to consider is the nakshatra. If planets are in a different nakshatra but in the same sign, are they still forming conjunction? Most definitely they are, because the nakshatra just gives them an internal experience, but they're still in the same sign, they're still sharing the experience of that house, and they are still in a conjunction. So if you have Jupiter and Saturn in the same sidereal sign, you have a conjunction of these two planets. It's incredibly rare to have this conjunction actually, and very important for your destiny. First of all, let's look at the energies involved. And who is Jupiter? Jupiter is known as Guru in the Vedic system. He is a pure spiritual being who has all our well-being at heart. He is here to give us knowledge which takes away the ignorance which blinds us to our well-being. Ultimately, he is here to free us from material entanglement. He rules two signs, Sagittarius and Pisces. And from Sagittarius, he gives us religious system, dharmic action, righteous behavior, and also he rules the laws of karma. From the sign of Pisces, he gives that deep, intuitive spiritual knowledge which links us to the Supreme. Jupiter is all compassionate and forgiving, and he is Karaka for children, wealth, education, knowledge, and husband in a female chart. And who is Saturn? Saturn is known as Lord Shani in the Vedic system. He is the most powerful of all the grahas because he has the power to bring back to us our past life karmas. These are our papa or sinful karmas primarily. So he is here to make sure that we have the exact punishment in proportion to the deeds we have performed. So therefore he is much feared. But actually we need to understand that if he didn't do this, we would have to go to much more fearful places. So it's good that Saturn gives us our karmas in this life. He is therefore going to bring limitation, delays, obstacles, all sorts of retribution, sorrow, and fated factors into our life. But please remember that Saturn will also reward us. He rewards endurance, hard work, honesty, patience, and self-control. So when we show these qualities, he can help us tremendously. He gives always those things which are long-lasting and worth having. So it's incredibly fated to have the Lord of Dharma, Jupiter, with the Lord of Karma, Saturn, in your chart. This conjunction only occurs every 20 years. So you should understand that your incarnation, your birth in this world, has a very special purpose. You're probably going to feel with this conjunction that your every action is being monitored by some higher power. If you think about it, you feel like you're being watched all the time, and you are. It's the Jupiterian factors which are being monitored, if you like. So connections with your children, your education, your dharmic religiosity, all of these things are being carefully watched. Don't be afraid of this. It's actually quite good. It gives you a feeling of the importance of all of these factors in your life. Last lifetime, there was something amiss in these areas, and for female chart it definitely means there is some strong karma with the husband that has to be fulfilled. So some of the factors you can see is difficulty in education ruled by Jupiter, difficulty settling to your education, really learning well, having a lot of frustration in this area, or maybe leaving a course before it's finished, not being able to complete education until very late in life. Also, children can come later in life, or there is a real issue with at least one child. Sometimes in a female chart there can be difficulty finding a suitable husband, or more often you can be attracted to a very established person, maybe older than yourself. There can be a great benefit in this, but also there can be real difficulty settling down, differences of personality that have to be overcome. Now, don't forget that Jupiter rules wealth in your chart, and this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction has a huge impact on how you deal with wealth, whether you are poor, whether you've got medium income, whether you're really rich. It doesn't matter. It's the same factor. It's about responsibility. I've seen billionaires with this Jupiter-Saturn in their chart. They can inherit enormous wealth, but it feels like a burden. Saturn is bearing down on this Jupiter wealth factor. This can lead such people to feel that they just have to give away as much wealth as they can. They just can't be satisfied with the burden and responsibility of it. And that's a very karmic thing. So no matter how much wealth you can actually get by other factors in your chart, Jupiter-Saturn means you have to act responsibly with it at all times. One of the greatest blessings of all of Jupiter conjunct Saturn is that of good judgment. Both Jupiter and Saturn are concerned with wise decision, but unfortunately one of the difficulties sometimes can be coming to any decision at all. So every time that you have to make a decision in life, take it slow, take it cautious, and spend some time quietly meditating on things, and Guru Jupiter will always help you find the right path. Of course, one of the factors with this Jupiter conjunct Saturn is that you swing to extremes. Sometimes you're full of enthusiasm, full of all that Jupiterian wisdom and desire to just expand your life, go for things, do things, start something new, be enterprising. And then a few days later, Shani kicks in and you're thinking, no, hold on, this can't work. Caution comes and fearful factors come into your mind. This swinging between optimism and pessimism, between these two extremes, will always be there, but it generally settles down after Saturn matures at 36. Now, don't forget also Jupiter rules Dharma, rules religions in general, and together with Shani, this means that you can be filled with doubt about traditional or more orthodox views. You want to follow these, you do your utmost to follow, but then you find doubt comes into your mind. Don't let your doubts take away all the benefits of your dharmic tradition. Of course, how far this will happen to you depends who is stronger in your chart by sign, Jupiter or Saturn. I will discuss that in a minute. Please remember though, this is a most incredibly powerful conjunction for everybody to have. It's a rare, powerful event. It's a very destiny-making factor. You have to make your own path in this life. You have to learn to trust yourself. You have to learn to get rid of all of your doubts through thorough and careful analysis of every step which you take. But don't get yourself tied up in a knot. Even if you take a step into the dark, Jupiter will protect you. Concerning the sign placement now, please remember on my channel, I have the karmas of Shani by sign and the karmas of Jupiter by sign. I will link at the end and below the video. If this conjunction is in a fire sign like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, what I've spoken about swinging between optimism, pessimism, pushing out the boat and pulling it back really applies to you big time. You have this great Jupiterian enthusiasm because Jupiter's strong in all of these signs. You're always seeing the big picture and then sudden doubts come into your mind. The key to have success is to slow down. Jupiter pushes you out time and time again, not worrying about things, not taking time to think things through, but use Saturn wisely here and you can make enormous, successful and powerful moves in your life. Fire sign also is about wisdom and deep knowledge, so you can be a very good teacher with this position. In the earth signs of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, is generally very successful for material life, for growth, for wealth, for finding the right job, for finding the right stream of income in time. Especially after 36 years of age, enormous wealth and growth can come into some people's lives with this Jupiter-Saturn. But for everybody, it gives you that security in life materially which you crave. Only if Rahu, Ketu interfere could that be changed. Another factor is, even though Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn, Shani will, after 36 years of age, bring him out of that debilitation. Jupiter and Saturn together in the air signs. That means in Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, watch your ethics at all times. Jupiter is not so happy in these signs. He's going to push you round those difficult moments in your life by any means possible. You see, Jupiter can do this. You can be too optimistic where you need to be more cautious. Watch your speech at all times. You can upset people easily. You can come over in completely the wrong way, especially in Gemini sign. In Libra, this is a very strong factor for legal career or any career dealing with helping others out of difficulties in their life, counseling, etc. You have fantastic people skills. Saturn is exalted here, and actually business skills also. Watch out for those big turning points in your life. Jupiter return 24, Saturn return around 29. Jupiter, Saturn in Aquarius, watch the company that you keep. Sometimes you have friends who support you. Sometimes you can be mistaken who are your friends. Saturn, Jupiter means caution in your network circle groups. Eventually, though, you will find tremendous support from certain networks, certain groups, certain individuals who support you, colleagues maybe in your workplace. You're a very lifelong, loyal friend, so just make sure that you attract similar. Jupiter, Saturn in Aquarius, though, you are here to definitely do something good for humanity. Jupiter, Saturn together in the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Jupiter is predominant and strong here. So this is great for your spiritual wisdom, your intuitive understanding, and very good for all Jupiter factors in your life. But here's the thing, you must always be true to yourself. You must not let yourself be diverted from dharmic path, because emotions become incredibly important here. Saturn dampens down them and Jupiter brings them up. So you're always fighting in your inner self with your emotional stability. In a sign of Cancer, Jupiter is so strong it can bring you many benefits, but Saturn is not so happy here. What tends to happen is you have tremendous opportunities, but you don't always make the most of them. You can dilly-dally and not jump into things when you really need to just take that leap. But that's not a problem. Jupiter always brings you back those opportunities again. So this gets much better when you get older in life. Children are incredibly important, at least one child, a very karmic factor in your life. And you find that your mother relationship is the most incredible and important influence in your life. In Scorpio, your emotions are jumping all around the place. You're incredibly focused in your life because Jupiter is strong, but Saturn is very karmic here. Be careful about being too secretive, being too undercover, doing everything in an underhand, maneuvering way. It will always backfire. Try to be as dharmic and open as you can, and you have tremendous purpose in life and great occult knowledge. In Pisces, Jupiter is giving you all the wisdom and all the spiritual knowledge you could possibly want. You've got to go down this path. Saturn will make you serious about it. You can't dilly-dally in life. It's time to find that gate to liberation if you can do. Studying astrology, Jyotish, studying spiritual knowledge, going into yoga, retreats, meditation, all of this is an absolute necessity. You need time alone. You need time to dig in to this spiritual wisdom. Don't waste this opportunity. Now, the house positions. Don't forget, again, I have a full playlist on my channel with all the houses for Jupiter and Saturn. Check those out. As far as them being together are concerned, in the Kendra 1, 4, 7 and 10, you feel the weight of this conjunction when they are in these angular houses. Saturn puts a lot of pressure on anybody when he's in 1, 4, 7 and 10. There's a lot of seriousness in your life. There's a lot of obstacles always coming on your path when Saturn is angular. But what about when he's joined with Jupiter? In the first house, it affects your whole motivation in life. It's always toing and throwing. Sometimes you're incredibly moving forward with fantastic new ventures with so much confidence, and then Shani kicks in and you just can't believe in it anymore. Obstacles come up and you lose enthusiasm. The key is do everything slowly. Try to slow down in life and you'll be far more successful. In the 4th house, deep karmas with your family of origin, even country of origin. You may feel like you need to escape, you need to go somewhere else, but you will always be drawn back to fulfill these karmas. Jupiter, Saturn, 7th house, same applies to relationships. More than one relationship sometimes can be shown, but not always. You have to see so much more in your chart. Don't forget, the important thing is to be dharmic and honest. You want a long-lasting relationship, but Jupiter makes you restless. So find out someone who is completely in tune with you. Get to know somebody very slowly, Saturn, and you will find a soulmate by this position. Jupiter, Saturn, 10th house, you're going to push out the boundaries in your career. You want success, you want wealth, you want prominence, you want it all basically. Can you have it? Yes, depending on aspects. But at some point, Saturn will bring a karmic turning point in your career. Watch out for that. In the Upachaya houses of 3, 6, and 11, it's a very difficult conjunction early in life because your mind is not steady and you try so many things, you find so many obstacles in your life. But as you mature, particularly after Saturn matures, after 36, things get easier. But this Jupiter Shani 3rd and 6th can give you many problems, many quarrels, many litigations. You're always pushing out. You're not waiting to see whether others agree with your plans. And this is the thing. You can find roadblocks from other people and your ego just gets bigger and bigger or more and more frustrated. One or the other. Quarrels with your siblings, quarrels with your workmates may be seen 3 and 6th house. But in the 11th house, it's very good. Probably one of the best placements with time. Jupiter, Saturn, 11th house can give enormous growth in income and a real success in your career endeavor. In the 2nd house, you can have good wealth if you have good aspect to this Jupiter Saturn, and it's good by sign. Jupiter is very happy to be in this natural house of Taurus, but Saturn is a bit bound. So family problems, family contentions around wealth may also be there. In the 5th and 9th house, you have enormous wisdom. Past life wisdom is there with you, but you are here to serve others with it. So self-doubt sometimes trips you up continually. In your educational endeavors, it gets really difficult in this 5th, 9th house. But the key is to keep on going despite everything. In the 5th house, there can be difficulties with a child, particularly in a male chart. 9th house also in female chart, there can be difficulty with a child. Sometimes some karmic bond is there coming again into your life. And for both houses, 5 and 9, father problems can also be there. In the Dustana houses, the 8th and the 12th, it's a difficult placement. You have to take it slow in life and to build up faith in your own self because this can be lacking early in life. In the 8th house, there are sudden upheavals coming into your life and you just always can't find that steady patch. But here's the thing, you become tremendously strong by this Jupiter Saturn 8th house. Saturn can give longevity here. No matter what aspects, you can actually stick around for a long time because you learn how to overcome tremendous difficulties. You can become a real rock to your family, a real rock to other people. You can have tremendous occult wisdom also. Jupiter Shani 12th house can take you into foreign lands for karmic factors which you cannot avoid, but there will always be roadblocks there because Saturn 12th house doesn't make this sort of relocation easy. But the deep spiritual factors of this Jupiter, Saturn, 12th house are what you really want to go for. Meditation, yoga, ashrams, retreats. The most amazing spiritual advancement can be made with this Jupiter, Saturn, 12th house. Check out the karmas of Jupiter and Saturn up on your screens right now by sign. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Goodbye for now and God bless everyone.